Lord Dunsany and H.P. Lovecraft used to write of Dream as a separate country that we visit while asleep. All I know is mixing two different brands of antihistamine before bedtime will send you somewhere you didn't necessarily intend to go. So there I was downtown in a place that felt totally strange and still familiar, fully aware that I was asleep, and yet not. That is, I knew it, but wasn't aware of what possible difference it could make. I was about to find out. There were shops along the sidewalk with names that appeared normal until you tried to read them, then they became indecipherable. All except one clearly labeled Lost and Found. I've lost a lot of things over the years. I figured why not, and went in. He sat on a high stool on wheels behind a dusty counter, a balding old man with pince-nez glasses. Behind him was a wall with small cubby holes filled with things which, like most of the store signs, looked familiar until you tried to focus on one. The whole place smelled of old wood. "May I help you?" he asked. "I've lost so much over the years. I hardly know where to start." He nodded. "Maybe I should state the rules up front, of which there are only two. Some places use the rule of 3. We use the rule of 2. Rule number 1. We can't find deceased loved ones. That set me back a little. Do people actually expect that? He shrugged. Some do. The reason, in case you were wondering, is that they aren't lost. You'll figure that out sooner or later. Now, rule 2 is implied in rule number 1. I can only help you with something you've actually lost. So, name something you've actually lost. An old memory was the first thing that came to me. I felt silly even saying it, but I did. When I was 5, I had a wind-up toy. I hadn't even finished talking before he rolled to the cubbies and back again, holding said toy. "You mean this?" I did. It was a plastic duck riding a gyrocopter, an old-fashioned toy with a wind-up spring. It would run over the floor, rotor spinning. One day, it was just gone. I looked everywhere and never found it. But here it was. "How did you do that?" He just shrugged again. "You lose, we find. That's how it works." "I miss this," I said, holding it in both hands. "Just a dumb toy. I don't know why losing it hurt so much." He smiled. "Because it was the first thing you ever lost and thus taught you what loss was. And before you ask, no, we can't return your innocence. That's always discarded, not lost." "What about patience?" "I lose mine all the time. So you do. Try not to be so careless." Back to the cubbies, and he returned with nothing but a small white pill. "Take it with water." I woke up after that. The pill was easy to deal with, but I just know my wife is going to ask me to explain the duck on the gyrocopter. With patience, I'll think of something.